Hello, everyone. You're watching All About the W, your weekly deep dive into the WSL stat stories and standout performances. Let's break it all down. My name is Sky, and as always, I'm joined by Ash. Ash and I are here to have a quick chat about Man City's performance last weekend and Man City going 9 points clear of Chelsea, top of the table. Ash, London City Lionesses maybe gave Man City a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no maybe about it. It was a tough game. Bunny Shaw was in the corner at the 91st minute, passing the ball between herself and whoever. Kasparai and Miedema also did that in the corner, and they were in time wasted. Like when you have Bunny Shaw, Kasparai, and Miedema time wasting in the corner in the 90th minute of a game, you know that they don't want to risk the ball, they don't want to risk the goal. That is how difficult this game was. That Man City was time wasting against London City Lionesses.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's. Listen, we speak a lot about we have in the past spoken a lot about Chelsea and Chelsea being the mentality monsters and mark of champions, getting a result in a game. Do you see those shades with this Manchester City team and how they're performing right now?
Yeah, I did question it after the League Cup, but I think that was just like unlucky, I think, because in this game, I totally saw them as mentality monsters. Because, like LCL kept getting through, kept putting through balls in, like Goodwin kept getting at the end of it, Godfrey kept getting at the end of it. And they had a really good game. Like they had very little possession. Like there was a point in the game where they had 25% possession, but I think they had the same number of balls on target as City did.
Yeah,
So I think that it's really important to realize that City they went away for a really tough game, and they got over the line. They didn't have the best performance. The City midfield was not working at its glorious best as we regularly see it, but the ingredients were all there. Like that first goal by Carolyn was when Carolyn switched positions and came centrally as
yeah,
striker. That fluidity that we constantly talk about with City, they switch their wingers, they switch their positions in the forward three, in the midfield. That was still present, and you could see that the ingredients were all there. And like sometimes you just need to string them together enough to score two goals, which is what they did.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think I think over the line, win the league. Well done, City.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the stats, right? London City had 32% possession to Man City's 68, 1.51 XG to Man City's 1.97. And I think the big stat here is London City Lionesses had three big chances and they missed all three. Man City had two big chances and they didn't miss any. I think that is probably the most glaring of the stats because apart from that, it looks pretty even because LCL had 12 shots to Man City's 15, three on target to
Yeah.
Man City's 4. So like you can tell to some extent what an evenly poised
Yeah.
game this was. As
I
before
mean,
we
I felt a
yeah,
little bit bad because twice they hit the woodwork. LCL. Especially that first Goodwin opportunity where they hit the woodwork. I was sure that was going to go in, and
yeah.
we've been a little bit like reluctant to praise Goodwin because we're like, oh, is she up to the league level for LCL's ambitions? But in this game, despite not scoring, she was spectacular. So I feel a little bit bad that they kept hitting the woodwork.
Yeah, I think we've definitely not seen the best of Goodwin. I feel like, maybe she has a little while to go before she matches up to what the league demands from a striker.
Yeah.
But what I do like about Goodwin quite a bit is she is a bit of a bully striker. She's like constantly um, like keeping the center backs occupied, and she is a physical player. But yeah, I think for her the next like stage in her development is to find herself in the right positions, and also find the back of the net probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Ash, since we're talking about London City Lionesses, let's quickly talk about what they look like under Edemeister, is there something that stood out for you in this game?
I actually was a little bit surprised because this was, to me, this was actually a more Jocelyn Fisher like setup than it was an Edemeister setup. I think it's a little bit inevitable because when you know that City are going to have the ball, the only way you can set up is to be direct and counter attacking. So it was a little bit like more like pragmatism maybe from Edemeister to like set up uh, not defensively but compact and organized and low. The one time LCL kept a high line, Carolyn scored. So so
And that
I
happened in
think
the 11th minute, so they learned
yeah,
their
yeah,
lesson
yeah.
very
They
quickly.
learned their lesson very quickly. So I think that uh, I was very surprised to see how he set up, but I think it's also smart of him to realize that the city game is not the game to be experimenting with possession based football in.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
Yeah, I think yeah, Man City in the flow that they're in right now, probably also a tough game to go in as well, no, for Edemeister. Okay, the other thing I wanted to quickly discuss is probably Sam Coffey, who came off the bench. I think she took the set piece that eventually resulted in a goal
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Bunny Shaw.
It was a really decent set piece, and then it pinged, and then Yui Hasagawa put it like into like a really good spot, and then Kennedy, I think, was the one who saved it. Um, and then it just like it's very unfortunate that Kennedy's ball ended up at the feet of like Bunny Shaw, and Shaw scored it. Like it was very unfortunate because it was a goal line clearance, and it's respectable that she cleared it and all. It was a
Yeah,
very lucky goal in a sense, but it was a good corner in ball in.
but generally, like, did you see enough of Sam Coffey to sort of get a sense of what she
So
has to offer?
not really, because when she came on, um like
She came on the
City, like
76th minute. Yeah,
yeah, she came on in the 76th minute, and like City had honestly like LCL were already kind of like pinned into their box just a little bit. So there wasn't anything she could do in the midfield to like affect the game that wasn't already being done. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
she came on, and like City I think had two corners after she came on. So they were already in that area. You know what I mean? So like I don't see how she could have affected the game too much apart from that corner that she took, of course.
yeah,
So I'm still interested to see how they set up if she starts the game. I have no clue. Like in this particular game, she came on for Blinkilda Brown. So I'm assuming that that means that Blinkilda Brown is the one who will have to give way.
yeah,
But let's it remains to be seen, because I don't think there were moments of brilliance from Yui Hasagawa. Like there was this one time where she defended and she like got the ball away, I think from Godfrey, and then progressed the play and all the way till the LCL box. So there were those moments of brilliance, but I thought that Yui Hasagawa looked really tired and like out of it. So I'm wondering if maybe Yui is the one who deserves the rest rather than Blinkilda Brown.
yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see what that midfield setup looks like from Yeglerts. Obviously, I do think Grace Clinton has her work cut out for her because she obviously doesn't come on in this game.
No.
She's on the bench, which, in a game like this where you're looking for a goal, and Man City would score only in the 86th minute. So you're looking for a goal and you not being subbed on. I mean, it could be a profile thing. It could be, I don't know, whatever. Like Yeglet saw a way in which Coffee could potentially impact the game more than Clinton. But yeah, I do wonder where she sits on the pecking order in terms of that midfield position. Uh, all right, Ash, big question, and maybe we can close with this. Do you think City have won the league?
Yes. There's to me there's no doubt. So there's a stat that was going around during the game. This is no longer true because now City have 8 games left to play. So there was a stat that went around saying when they first scored, City had a 9 point difference with a 9 goal difference with 9 games left to go. Uh, and I was just like, oh, I love it. It's poetry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So yeah,
with 8 games left to go, City dropping 9 points, it just
yeah,
feels. I mean, mathematically, it's possible. You never know where teams are going to drop points. Obviously,
yeah.
City are
Also,
yet.
this LCL performance made it like even more evident that City are capable of dropping points, because
Hmm.
it did look at one point in this game that they would drop points. So, but like the fact that they got over the line will give them confidence that they're not going to drop points.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's what we keep saying. No, it's like the mark of champions to like grind
Yeah,
out a result. And I also think the other factor is that City did have a tough midweek game against
yeah,
Chelsea in that League Cup as well. So
yeah,
um, I think it's 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 good. I do feel like they'll feel confident from this result.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, I think, like I was saying earlier, like mathematically it's possible. City are yet to play Arsenal as well as Chelsea this coming week, as well as Manchester United, and then of course, you never know where teams can drop points. But the City team genuinely looks like they're on top of things, and for them, I think the one thing that's changed since a couple of seasons ago, where they kind of fully bottled the league, is the squad depth that they have now. Like in that season, if you remember, uh, with like 3 weeks to go, Bunny Shaw got an injury, and then their goal scoring kind of dried up a little bit. It was a bit of a struggle, but now, if say Bunny picks up an injury, you can move Miedema or Carolyn up to that nine role. So I think when you look at all of these different factors, added to how well and fluidly the whole team is playing, I don't really see anybody
yeah.
winning the league apart from Manchester City.
Yeah. Quick question before we go. What did you make of the fact that Ellie Carpenter was witness to Man City winning the league in this game? I mean, there were so many superstars in the audience. I feel like we have to talk about what was happening off the pitch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so there was Beth Mead, there was Mariona, there was Alexia. I have no idea what she was doing there. There was Ellie
Yeah.
Carpenter, and I think there was another Chelsea player who was with Carpenter. I don't know if it was Peng or I don't know who it was.
I saw Carpenter. Maybe I didn't notice who was next
Oh,
to
it was
her
Alyssa
because
Thompson.
she's.
It was Alyssa Thompson.
Oh,
So she probably went to see Sam Coffey or something.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was the who's who of football
Women's.
stars.
I gotta hand it to them, like in terms of like commitment to their relationships and friendships and other things. That you play 90 minutes over the weekend, and then like you're tired and you just like want to rest on a Sunday, and you're like, no, I will go for another 90 minutes of football to watch. I think that's quite commendable. That's
Yeah,
just
I mean, you gotta support your partners and your friends and all of that.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I feel like this kind of is like very unique to women's football in some ways.
yeah,
And also the funniest thing that's come out of this is an Alexia Putellas to London City Lionesses rumor, which I found
yeah.
extremely fascinating. I mean, obviously, like found out a couple of weeks ago that LCL made multiple offers to Arsenal for Beth Mead, and she turned them all
Yeah,
down. Um,
yeah,
and now suddenly, listen, between Man City and LCL, I would put my money on LCL buying Alexia than anybody else, because
yeah, yeah.
there is that
Fair. I
Kang
think.
Green that will do the magic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not like City don't have the money either. Like City are quite a
But
rich
City
club
don't
with
want
money.
another midfielder, especially a midfielder who's like 30. Listen, I'm not saying she's washed or
Yeah,
anything, but
yeah,
they're
yeah,
looking to build a squad for the
yeah.
future,
Fair.
and maybe,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, I mean, I was looking at the LCL bench. Okay, I will let me recite the LCL bench for you.
yeah.
Let me pull this up one sec. The LCL bench had Van de Donk, Guerrero, Nikita Parrish, Francie, Kumagai, Linari, Ceres Brown. I'm just like, look at this bench. This bench is a first team. Like, I know all of these players are very old. Like, Linari is very old.
Is
Like,
she that
Kumagai,
old?
isn't she?
I have no idea. I feel like you. Yeah, she's 31. She's not very old, but on the older
Yeah,
side.
yeah, 31. 31 is okay, fine. Sorry. Not very old. She's slightly old. And like all these players are just like, like Kumagai is 35 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they're very, very old. So LCL just like, let me take all the old players and put them all on the bench. So they can all come on and affect a
I
game.
mean, listen, their best player on the pitch, according to Footmob, was Aslani, who was 36 years old. So,
Yeah, yeah. I
anyway,
mean,
but
she was their best player.
you're making a very interesting point because obviously until Christmas, Kumagai, Georo were starters.
Yeah.
Linari was a starter, and suddenly we see all of them dropping off to the bench in a big game. Like, you want to put out what you think is your best 11 against Manchester City. And it's interesting to see that uh, basically, essentially, their midfield pivot has changed.
Yeah.
And the central defender is also different. So I think this is, we might see more tough
I don't
choices.
think I don't think we should read too much into it because I feel like now that Vanderdonk is back, it could that like starting 11 could look a little bit different once Vanderdonk is back in like full speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really depends on how she comes back because she's
Yeah,
also not the youngest of players. She's 34, and she's
yeah,
coming back from injury. So let's see what her speed, etc., looks like. But yeah, I think the next few weeks we'll kind of get to see
yeah,
what Maestro is thinking about in terms of how he wants to set up his team. All right. On that note, we will wrap up this episode. Uh, just a reminder, forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video, as we always do. But just a reminder, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you are a regular, hit that like button. Tell us if you think Manchester City are going to win the league. And tell us what you expect in the coming weeks from London City Lionesses as well. We will catch you in the next video where we will be talking about the other WXL fixtures from the weekend. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.